Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the second round of our Water Tenure Mondays webinar series. This is the second round of the second edition of the Water Tenure Mondays webinar series. For those of you who connected in November, December, we presented the results of the water tenure um, assessments in different countries in Asia. And in this second round, we will focus on other initiatives that also have a very strong link to water tenure. And I'm very happy to introduce to you today a project on sustainable eel management in the Sukabumi, Indonesia, which provides a practical illustration of water tenure challenges in inland fisheries. And very happy also that Felix is joining us today from Rome, from the fisheries division, and I'm sure other colleagues with a special interest in fisheries. Before we kick off, some quick information. Please note that this session is being recorded for the benefit of others who want to revise it afterwards, and we will publish the recording as all recordings on our website, where you can always refer to when you want to share it with others. Also, the presentations will be on our website, on the ScaleWatt website. We're working here in a meeting space, so please keep your microphone muted. And if you experience any technical issue, please contact Sofia Espinosa, who's connected and who will be able to assist you. Please also use the chat to introduce yourself and to report if you have any technical problems or questions. For questions, you can also use the Q&A box, and the speakers will reply to the question after your presentation. Now, this water tenure webinar series, the Water Tenure Mondays webinar series, Asia and Pacific edition, seeks to foster dialogue, share lessons, and build a shared regional understanding of water tenure, paving the way toward the regional dialogue on water tenure, which will happen in April, May 2026. The date has not been set, but these webinars are very, very important to pave the way for this regional dialogue, and then, of course, going on to the global dialogue. And we're looking at concrete case studies and experience to build a regional consensus of or understanding of what constitutes water tenure, and how can a water tenure approach can help identify challenges and opportunities to protect water rights, particularly for smallholder farmers, or in this case, fisher folk and other rural communities. We look very much forward to a lively session, and I'm very happy to introduce to you Sudarsono, who is a fisheries and natural resources governance professional with more than 2 decades of experience in inland and marine fisheries management, biodiversity conservation, and community-based natural resource governance in Indonesia. Sudarsono currently serves as the National Project Manager of the IFish Project at FAO Indonesia, and leads initiatives that integrate conservation, livelihoods, and policy reform. He focuses on translating policy concepts such as sustainable small-scale fisheries and water governance into practical field-level solutions. And this is, of course, very much in line of what we're trying to do with the water tenure concept. So we're very interested to hear your thoughts, your views on water tenure and how it can be useful in the context of your project. Um, so, Sudarsono, the floor is yours. And yeah, to everybody, again, please introduce yourself in the chat, and we look forward to your questions and a lively debate after this presentation of Sudarsono. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Benjamin. Um, Good afternoon, everyone. Good morning. My name is wait. Yeah, my name is Sudarsono, as mentioned by Benjamin. But actually, I'm quite famous with my nickname. Some of my colleagues called me as Kimpul. Uh, Most of them was that don't really know my real name actually. I'm from FAO Indonesia. Thank you very much for this opportunity to share our experience today. And before that, Happy New Year. Wish you all the best. Today, our topic is about the sustainable eel management in Sukabumi, Indonesia, as a practical illusion of water tenure challenges in inland fisheries. But this is not a story about fish or conservation, but this is actually a story about who is recognized as a water user and who is not, even though they are fully depend on the water. Um, Indonesia, as we all know, as a maritime country. Well, when people talk about Indonesia, they usually talk about ocean, coral reef, marine fisheries, etc. Everything about marine. But actually, Indonesia has large of inland water system, also like a river, lakes, wetland, floodplain. Interestingly, um, compared to the ocean, is 1 to 45. Uh, the inland water compared to the ocean in terms of area, but in terms of number of fishers that involved is 1 to 3 compared to the ocean, and the household 1 to 2. You can combine between. I mean, you can compare between the inland and ocean. The number is small, but the impact is bigger than the ocean. Many families depend on the inland fisheries for food, for income, but this household formally not formally recognized in water allocation system. They produce food for local people, but they do not have formal place in water governance. And this is the fact. Inland fisheries are often ignored for several reasons. They receive less concern, less attention compared to marine fisheries. They are not priority in development planning. Rivers are often also treated as a dumping ground for waste and pollution. And because another thing is about the data. Because of data is very limited, decision maker think that inland fisheries are not important. Um, Last year, we communicated to Ministry of Planning to involve the inland fisheries into national planning, but due to of lack of data, they said that I don't think that inland fisheries is important enough right now. This is the fact. And FAO, in collaboration with the MMIF, Ministry of Marine and Fisheries Affairs, together with FAO, supported by GEF, created the first and the biggest inland fisheries project. Now, in terms of number, because we are the only inland fisheries project in Indonesia with title Mainstreaming the Biodiversity Conservation and Sustainable Use into Inland Fisheries Practices in Freshwater Ecosystem of High Conservation Value, or we call it the IFish Project. The target, there are 3 species. The first one is Belida, giant featherback, eel or freshwater eel, we call it Sidat, and Arowana. Now we are focused on Sidat in Java, especially for Sukabumi. This is the area of the location of this project. But for this presentation, I want to highlight only in Sukabumi. Here, the brown one, Sukabumi, is West Java. Sukabumi is a very good example to understand the link between water government, water governance, and fisheries. And this is the paradox. Rivers are governed by water law, but fish and fishers are not recognized as water users. In most countries, water law regulates irrigation, hydropower, drinking water, and other industry. But fish and fishers, even though they depend on water, are not part of the system. This is the core of the water tenure gap. This is what we want to discuss today. How infrastructure affect the fisheries? Weirs, dams, gates, diversion are built for good purposes. They help irrigation, control flood, supply water. But at the same time, these structures block fish migration, change the water flow, dry out important habitats, and fisheries are affected, but fisheries are not part of the decision. Yeah, fisheries are not part of the decision. They can build everywhere, anywhere. And for example, here, this is the eel in Sukabumi, our site, that has a very special life cycle. It's the opposite of salmon. They born in the ocean, eel born in the ocean and grow in the river, and then return back to the ocean to reproduce. And this means they need a river to be fully connected. One block point can break the entire the cycle. That's why this eel is very, very important. In Sukabumi, based on the uh, research report, eels spawn in western of Sumatra, and then their eggs become a larvae, and then larvae carried by ocean current, and then they slowly move to Sukabumi, and then they arrive in Sukabumi as a glass eel, and this journey only works when if rivers are open and connected. Now we can get into detail to Sukabumi. Look at this in Sukabumi. River used for many purposes like irrigation, drinking water, hydropower, etc., and also fisheries. But each sector develop its own infrastructure. There is no integrated system that looks a river as one living system. You can see the blue color in the map. There are many small rivers connected to the main river. For eel, this connectivity is extremely important. They need to open pathway to move from sea to the upstream areas. And this is the fact. Look at this. This is the irrigation infrastructure only in one district in Sukabumi. It's built by government. Each structure looks small. Some of them small, some of them big, but together they create a strong barrier for eel. From water management view, this is efficiency, but from fish view, this is fragmentation. And this is uh, what was that? The map for fish catch. Uh, these are the place where people depends on the river every day for food and income. So we can combine together. Now we can see the overlaps. We can see the problem clearly now. Fishing area are directly affected by weir and gates, especially for fish. But fish are not part of the allocation. I mean the decision making. Now let me introduce the invisible water usual. This is the real glass eel. We call it glass eel because they are transparent. This is the eel, a transparent eel. The inland fisher do not pump waters. They don't have water licenses. They don't own land along the river, but they fully depend on water flow, quality, and connectivity. This is why they are invisible in the water channel system. At the global level, inland fisheries produce 11.4 million tons every year of fish from capture, which is this is 12% of global capture of fisheries. But interestingly, it use only less than 1% of fresh water. So it's very efficient to the way to produce food. Now the IFish intervention. Oh my God, it's almost 20 minutes. Um, the IFish works actually only work on connectivity, focus on connectivity, the habitat, value chains, and a policy. But the real goal is to make fisheries feasible in water governance. That is a fish where you focus on two areas, like regulation and implementation. The regulation, we make sure that there is a regulation that require every structure built across the river should include a fishway. And right now there are two fishways already developed or under construction, and two more will follow in Sukabumi. With this approach, Fishly physically recognize that fish need water. They make fish visible in infrastructure. In practice, this become de facto water rights for fish. Um, Look at this small video. If you don't ever see the glass eel, look at this one. Look at that, the small one. Uh, Glass eel climbing natural rocks. They can climb it. Surface is rough, uh, but not that high. But the human-made weir mostly smooth and vertical. So it's without fishway, it's very difficult to pass the this obstacle. Other thing that we have done by protecting the riparian zones, seasonal flows, we are allocating water for fish. This is the community. We work together with community and also local government to uh, replanting the area around the river. And conservation area also, we protect the important area such as a spawning or nursery area based on the research assessment that are critical for eel and other fish population also. Um, from exploitation to stewardship, fishers now protect the rivers with participatory approach. They control catch, monitor the glass eel catch. Now they are no longer only user, but stewards. Communities collect data and patrol also. They become governance, not only beneficiary with the participatory approach. Uh, at the regulation level, district policy now recognize ill habitat and include fisheries in river planning, and this is institutional change. Sorry, this is in Bahasa. There is a regulation, formal regulation from district government. There is a fishway here or fish ladder regulate in the this local regulation. And this is the most important one, multi-stakeholder forum. We work not only with the government, not only with the community, but we work together into one forum with the private sector, fishers, university, government, and community. Um, Different actors sit together, that there is water tenures become real. Look at this picture. This is the member of a multi-stakeholder forum. Visit the weir construction. Discuss with the national government how to build the fishway on this area. Lesson learned: inland fisheries are critical for food, livelihood, and biodiversity, but they can only survive if water governance recognize them. I think that's all from me. Thank you very much. Over to Ben.
Thank you very much, Kim Paul, for a wonderful and very clear and inspiring presentation, and also yeah, to pointing out some very concrete elements on yeah, how you have worked to make fisheries and fishers more visible in the context of water governance through uh, through infrastructure measures such as fishways, but also in terms of planning and allocation of maintaining seasonal flow rights. Julie Trottier asks a question about the issue of absent data concerning fishers, which makes them invisible to decision makers. And she draws a parallel to sharecroppers in Palestine and her role in water tenure. She asks, how did you produce the numbers you quote in the beginning of your talk when you talked about the importance of inland fisheries, and how could we systemize such data production to make these crucial actors visible? Over to you, Kim Pol.
Sorry, which part?
The first part when you mentioned the importance of inland fisheries in Indonesia.
Wait.
That how many so many families depend on inland fisheries and
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Yeah, we generated from the government, national government data.
Hmm.
Where is that? This one?
Yes, Julie has her hand open. Julie, you want to
Yes, thank you very much for your talk. If you generated this from government data, that means the data exists then. Uh,
Yes.
so why is it not known? Why is it not readily available to decision makers?
Oh, yeah. Actually, the decision maker needs more data, such as how many fish in how most of government value environment with economic. So how to value the inland fisheries. If it only number of people, they don't really care, but they only care how much revenue can get from from the inland fisheries.
Mhm.
Sorry, I don't want to monopolize
Yeah.
but would it be possible to, OpenStreetMap, the model of OpenStreetMap, could we adopt this kind of model to make the people involved in water tenure and fisheries tenure visible? Because if we have a database like OpenStreetMap that's readily available all over the world, this will help making them visible.
Yeah, I think so. We can use that, but we need big effort because we are the only inland fisheries projects. I think we need more other support from other parties also, or also not only FAO Indonesia, maybe some other NGOs. We can work together. Actually, uh, we also use the kind of map, something like that. Let me share with you the example from this one, I think. Look at this. But this is only in one district. You can see that.
Yes.
To make it
Yeah.
visible here, sorry, but in Bahasa, you can see where they catch fish, what kind of fish, whatever activity there. But this is participatory, involving local communities and also local patrol to data everything in this district. This is Cilacap district,
Mhm.
another IFish project sites.
Great. Very, very impressive. Felix, you have your hand up.
Thank you, Ben. My name is Felix Martin. I'm in the Inland Capture Fisheries group in Rome, in FAO. First of all, Kimpel, congratulations on a great job. Really, very, very interesting. I was aware of your project, but not in depth. Then, with respect to the data that we discussed, I think we have to realize that people are not only inland capture fishers or not fishers. It's many people have mixed livelihoods, and
Yes,
therefore it's very difficult to define how many people are dependent on inland capture fisheries. I think in many places, in many communities, everybody is dependent on inland capture fisheries because everybody catches fish and eats them. No, so I
exactly.
think it's great that you quantify and so on, but you have to also mention and this caveat that really inland capture fisheries is crucial for food security and nutrition for rural communities. No, and with that, I think it would be possible to put a value on that because basically many people do not have alternatives for animal protein and the micronutrients that fish provide. So I think I think those are arguments that we could use to show how important inland capture fisheries is for rural populations. Um, uh, I also, so that's one comment I have with respect to the data and so on. I think it it should be good we should know also what you mean by fisheries households and so on. Huh? Then on this cooperation or this stakeholder involvement, I think that is great. That at least in law, fisheries is written, but how much power do fishers have? For instance, if a structure is being built to put there a fish ladder or a fish way, as you describe, that is a cost, and it's quite can be quite considerable. So can the fishers say, block the building of a infrastructure if there is no fishway, fish ladder? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Felix. First of all, I agree with you. Um, Actually, this is the way how to get attention from the government. Actually, this is we use their data. Look at this at the bottom, right bottom here. Source of KKP, mean the source is from the government itself. Um, um, we just want to open their eyes that inland fisheries is important. Look at the title of this project. This is the mainstreaming project. This is not advanced project. Just to mainstream that inland fisheries is important. This is the way how the project to open the government eyes. Now they already open. Now they already, you know, you cannot imagine how we approach the public works ministry. Uh, it's very difficult to them to what was that to encourage them to build the fishway. To build a fishway in one weir is it's cheap for them, but we have to make sure that they understand why they have to build the fishway. Because at the beginning, we communicate with the government. They said that, are you sure that there is a fish inside this dirty river? Are you sure? Look at that. It's just like a cappuccino water. It's not the water. How a fish can live there? So with approach, maybe 6 months intensive approach. So finally, we can encourage them to change their regulation at the national level and also at district level and provincial level. Now they created two. The first fishway that designed based on local characteristics, fish local characteristic. I mean, local fish characteristic. Not there are dam, big dam one, two, or three, they already created the fishway, but the designs copy from Norway, copy from Japan, but no fish going up. Now you can see actually I have the video, but I don't know where are they. The fishway here that we created with the private sector, actually this one, this is the result of our regulation that uh, impacted to this private sector. They have to create this fishway because of we provoke a government to change the regulation. This one. Actually, this fishway developed by what was that? The private sector. Um, Government already communicated with them and they said, wow, this is very expensive, blah blah blah. And then we communicate directly from the project. We try to calculate how much the fish from inland fisheries will impact from this what was that weir from their building or structure, and how much the impact to the our next generation, etc., etc. And then we also said that it will bring media also to your company, which is this is not good for you. And then, oh, okay, uh, they try to calculate, and then, oh, okay, I think it's reasonable. But now this is not finished yet, the construction. But according to the what was that? The operator, they said that there are many fish already going up to this fish ladder. I mean, it's possible. Regarding to the cost, yeah, for the government, I think it's cheap. Um, um, but we have to make sure that they are willing to build. That is why we work at the regulation level, at the district level, at the provincial level, and also at the national level. Thank you, Felix.
Thank you very much. There is another question from Louise from the Global Water Partnership. She asks, in periods of water scarcity, how are trade-offs between eel fisheries and other uses negotiated or decided? You talked about the maintenance of seasonal flow rights, for example, for fisheries. So this question more goes into the direction of water flows, maintaining water flows for fisheries.
Well, actually, I'm not the expert of water, but based on our experience, water can be caught by plan. So we make sure that the catchment area in upstream still exists. That's what we do under this project, because our focus is not specific for the water, but for the eel itself.
Mhm.
I wish that answered the.
For example, in other countries, or it would be interested to hear in Indonesia, are there environmental flows requirements, let's say that ensure that a certain minimum flow is maintained all over the year, and particularly in periods important for fisheries.
Um, I have no idea with the regulation, but it's in natural. There are some rivers that in Sukabumi area, sometimes they dry, sometimes there are flooding. Sorry, I don't get actually. To be honest, I don't get the question.
Mhm. No, the question was, is there a regulation, let's say, that ensures the maintenance of flows, of ecosystem flows, that can also that are also important for fisheries in Indonesian law?
As far as I know, there are no regulations such as that thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Sorry.
No. No, that's good. Sophia, you have your hand up.
Yes, thank you. Actually, it was a bit in the same line of to what extent have your project or initiative have looked to the regulation, to the legal framework, or have conducted a legal and policy analysis of exactly water tenure. So, because you say inland inland fishers are not water recognized as water users. So I wanted to know if this is in all regulations, or is this just for environment, or is just the regulations that are strictly linked to water and agriculture, water or irrigation, or is there any other regulations that does recognize inland fisheries, for example, environmental regulations? So yeah, I wanted to know to what extent you have conducted a legal assessment of water tenure and water users.
Yeah. Actually, we are not only talking about the agriculture, but also the public works, and you know, we've encouraged local government to create the such as a regulation related to inland fisheries management. So it means it's related to uh, aquaculture, related to agriculture, also the what was that well, everything related to water tenure there. It's kind of
Interesting.
what was that? What is in English? Well, something like
Is there
that.
any Indonesian colleagues in the audience that? No, thank you. No, it's really interesting, and yeah, let's discuss maybe how also maybe we can also support with the methodologies we have implemented and we already have available, to see if any of these can maybe fit into the in the analysis of addressing the rights of inland fishers in their country. Thank you.
Thank you, Sophia.
Thank you, Sophia. We have another question by Julie Totier. Maybe you want to come in, Julie, directly.
I'm unmuted now. Yes, I was wondering several things. You mentioned 36 million subsistence fishers. That's for all of Indonesia. It's not just for Java, I assume.
Yes,
Okay.
all over
These
Indonesia.
these people, I assume, have a lot of mobile phones. This is a disease that's all over the world, having mobile phones. And we could generate participatory methodologies where people post pictures of the fish they caught today, for example, which would be nearly free to
Yeah.
set up and could generate a lot of reliable data. And we could do that at the world level, but with your participatory forums, multi-stakeholder forum, this could be a very good way in to start that. And this would require very little budget and could generate trustable data, couldn't it?
Yes, we can collaborate it to create project something like that. Then we have experience with Cilacap and Sukabumi also. Look at this data. We use the mobile phone with the community, but this is very cheap because we were not providing the mobile phone. They use their mobile phone, but we build the connectivity with the community and building the trust, and we are connected, so they give everything to us.
And I was wondering
Great.
whether palm oil trees are interfering with with the minimum flows in rivers. Are they drying up the rivers?
No, in Java, there are not many palm oil in Java. The issue about the palm oil is in Kalimantan and Sumatra, I think.
Okay, thank you very much. And our colleague Angela has her hand up, please.
Wow, my boss.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Kimpo, for the great presentation. Well done. No, actually, my question is, I guess, is also, since this is a dialogue between different colleagues, as Kimpo was mentioning, this is one of the very few projects that we have on inland fisheries in the region. In fact, I think this is the first one that we have from Jeff. All of our Jeff projects are on marine fisheries, so we were all very excited with the outputs of this project, and also we're starting to look on a second phase because the project just finalized last year. But I'm intrigued to know from other colleagues working in the water, also listening to the questions, how do you see fisheries integrated within your water management work? Because for us, it's such a very clear link for us working in fisheries, right? But for you guys, the experts working in inland, say in water management, do you encounter this kind of linkages? And what is the work on tenure? As Kimpo was saying, sometimes there's more prioritization of the water use for other things. Fishers are not seen as users. Irrigation and dams and all this becomes far more prominent. So it's important that from your side, also if you have already documented some of this work, I'm sure Felix perhaps can guide us on this as well. He has many examples from all over the world. But yeah, how can we work with you from the water sector to make sure that every time there's some work in inland water, there's also a component to integrate fisheries in. So it's an open discussion. We don't have to solve it now, but I think it's good to always have this in our minds as we move forward. Over.
Thanks very much, Angela. And I don't know, Kimpol, if you've had a chance to look at the water tenure assessment methodology, or if you could give us some reflections on how in your case the water tenure assessment methodology can be useful to also elevate the water use by fisheries or make it more visible. Of course, for us from the water tenure side, this is a very key aspect, and in the water tenure assessments that we've carried out, let's say fisheries always are reflected on, and we asked in the local assessment, let's say, what about water use for fisheries? But Kimpol, maybe you want to reflect on this.
To be honest, I don't understand about the assessment of water tenure. But the first time I got this challenge to present on this water tenure issue, it's remind me to the discussion with the multi-stakeholder forum. There are debate between the agriculture person with the fisheries person. They said that aquaculture also use so many waters from the river compared to agriculture. There is a debate, and the fisheries team, they said, the aquaculture teams, they said that no, we only borrow the water. And then after that, we send back to the river. After that, we only use the clean water and then make them a little bit dirty and then send it back to the river. Actually, that's the basic how I understand about this water tenure, and then I learn from some of the discussion in this webinar. But I apologize, I don't really understand about the assessment. Maybe later I can.
Sure. Maybe Felix, you want to complement?
Yes,
I see you have your hand up.
complement and complement, basically, because I think that the water tenure assessment guidelines are actually quite comprehensive and include inland capture fisheries. And I think that it's really well described. Basically, I think there is a job also for us, inland capture fishery specialists, to engage. The only problem is that we need to be invited to these kind of things. But I think once we are there, we just need to engage. I think people, at least what I see in these assessment guidelines, they are quite comprehensive, including also inland capture fisheries. So it's a job for us to engage from the inland capture fisheries sector, and I think we just need to clarify how important inland capture fisheries is. But I think many of the inland tenure people or the water tenure people, they do realize that many rural populations are dependent on capture fisheries. Yes. What we need to make clear, and already Kimpel said something about the difference between aquaculture and capture fisheries. I think aquaculture is an agricultural activity, yeah. And it should be treated like that. It's part of agriculture. Inland capture fisheries is basically a natural resource which we use, and for that we do need certain things, not only of an environmental flow, connectivity, but also a flooding regime which allow flooding, because I think flooding of a river, many people do not realize, is crucial for some of the species that are in the river to reproduce and to to recruit into the system. So there is a job for us, inland capture fishery specialists, to engage, and there is a job for the water tenure specialists to make sure that inland capture fisheries is there. But in their assessment guidelines, they are quite comprehensive in all this. So there is a job for us. We just need to be invited, and then we need to make sure that these environmental flows and connectivity is there, and that people understand how important capture fisheries is for rural populations. Thanks, Benjamin.
Thank you very much. And I see, I don't know if this is the an old hand of yours, Sophia, but please go ahead.
This is a new hand, just
Okay.
to say that we, from the water tenure and land tenure also perspective, but here mostly the land tenure assessment guide and the one we have conducted in several countries in the region, we have identified inland fisheries as legitimate water users. And what we see is that inland fishery produce, they are more sustainable, they are more also flexible in terms of adapting to climate change, and they are in most of the cases we've seen, they are not recognized as Kim Pool said, as water users in the water legislation. And in some of the cases, they are not even recognized as users of any other resource whatsoever. So one of the first steps is to do an assessment of the legal and policy frameworks, not only for water, but all the frameworks that include water users. So this is part of the methodology, and Ben is going to mention, but the idea also of these webinars is to engage, as I mentioned, with other sectors that, and also if you are interested, we're going to conduct a capacity building on the water tenure assessment guide, that if for you and if you see that for a next phase, for example, of your project, this could be useful, this is also a good way to start discussing these, and you can see the practical implementations of that. Thank you. Over.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, maybe to complement. I mean, I think what we can learn from this discussions, also for the water tenure assessments methodology. I mean, we do have the the environmental flows, or the ecosystem flows, as part of the assessment methodology, to see if these are in place. But I see two more dimensions. One is the water quality dimension, which of course impacts on inland capture fisheries, where we'll have to see whether this is adequately reflected in the methodology. And the other thing is this question of connectivity that Kim Pong mentioned very strongly, and that of course has to do with infrastructure that is being built, for example, to divert water for hydropower or for irrigation purposes, and yeah, that we might need to reflect upon. One more very short question from you, Julie, and then
it's not a question. I'd just like to draw your attention on excellent research that's been carried out around Fitri Lake, where they have explored the interactions between inland fishers, farmers, and cattle raisers. And so they explore the interactions between fisheries tenure, land tenure, water tenure. And what's very interesting is in this study, it's around Fitri Lake. What they show is that the fishers are from different ethnic groups from the farmers, and they're from different ethnic groups from the people who have cattle, who are nomads. And this project that's worked there has produced 3 films that are very, very interesting to watch. One of them got an international award, and this is a good case study to make people aware of the interactions between inland fisheries and water tenure.
Thank you very much. That's a great comment to keep on this debate. Unfortunately, our time is over. I really Thank you very much for this engaged debate, and Kim Pong for your wonderful presentation that really raises yeah, a lot of interesting issues on the relationship between water tenure and inland fisheries, and particularly in the in this question of migratory fish that depend on the flows and the connectivity, let's say, yeah, to be able to that people can fish and not only for the inland fisheries, but I think also for the functioning of the ecosystem. Sure. I would like to very much invite you to the next Water Tenure Mondays webinar next Monday at the same time. Abid here and Lea Kellenberger will from Cadastra will talk about mapping the blue commons, technology, tenure, and governance in coastal and water systems. I think that is a webinar that will continue this debate on yeah, how important fisheries are in water tenure systems, and I look very much forward to this presentation. We have Water Tenure Mondays planned for the whole month of January and February. So please check on our website to look at the next sessions, and we will put the topics as they become available. I would like to draw your attention also to our campaign for water tenure and water governance champions. This campaign is open. Please revise our website and bring this to the attention of projects of initiatives which could take part in this initiatives. Sophia mentioned that there will be a capacity development sessions also organized in the run-up to the regional dialogue on water tenure assessments. And finally, watch out for the regional dialogue on water tenure. News on that will be soon made available, and we hope to see many of you at that event, which will happen in Bangkok, in Thailand, at late April or May 2026. With that, please, one last thing, please let us know your thoughts on this webinar series. We've prepared a Google form that you can access and please fill to get feedback on these sessions. I thank you again, Kim Pong, for your wonderful presentation. Thank you very much, everybody, for the engaged discussions, and I look forward to seeing you again here next Monday and the following as we continue to develop this Water Tenure Mondays webinar series. Thank you very much.